When time passes, things become better, right? Not this time. How? You'll find out. So let's change the shape of some famous food brand's logo. We'll start with having a cup of coffee. This one. Because who doesn't want this? A cup of coffee. Idea is simple. I'll break it so that no one can drink this coffee anymore. There's a white background in this logo. You'll be able to see once I enable the transparent mode. That's better. I just need this cup. Let me just remove this as well. As I said, I'll cut this cup from here and then side wall should be visible like that. To make it seamless, this border and the darker one for that one. Let's empty this cup because I don't think coffee will remain in this cup when this much portion of the cup is not there to hold it. You know what? Let's just break it from here as well because I'm allowed to do this. These drops to show coffee was there. Let's refine them because it doesn't look like a drop. Now you might be wondering, where is the coffee that was in this cup? Well, it is on the floor here. I know it is less because that's what they serve us. And then I tried to create the moment where this broken part of the cup just hit the ground, but that didn't work. So I dropped the idea instead of dropping that part and these two D's because these detail will make it Dunkin' Donuts logo. See, look at this. When coffee is falling everywhere, guess what? Who's gonna come? Me. Flies. Yes, flies. If you wanted to give something a bad look, then just give that thing a bad smell, and that's what I did. Don't forget to make it green. I think instead of making these lines of bad smell, I should go for some kind of smoke that would fit here. Look, that's what I was talking about. And you know what? After reaching to this point, I stopped here and went for a walk just to breathe some fresh air. During my walk, somehow I got hit by an idea for this project, and then I turned back and start moving towards what I call home, open my laptop and start executing the idea from this point. Basically, I broke this cup even more, did some formalities, added few more layer of this bad smell, finally the text, and voila, there you have it. So tell me, would you go now to drink their coffee if they start using this version of logo for their advertisements? Okay, still you chose to drink this coffee? Then you might need some Lays. Lays are made up of what? Potatoes, right? Yeah, I'm gonna add exact that thing here, but there's a catch, and that is, you'll see that. First, I don't need this yellow circle behind the text. Now what? Let me add a fresh potato here, a stroke to make it an illustration, textures that we usually see on potatoes, different shapes to make some variation. Now comes the interesting part. If I have to make it a fresh potato, I would have stopped here, but you are here to see me ruining these things, so I'll make it rotten. For that, these pattern, because now this potato start losing the original color. You get my point. And these green leaf kind of thing. Why I'm adding these? I don't know. I thought it would look cool and it is looking cool. Same color formation for this one because it's a part of a rotten potato. Now let's make it even worse. These worms coming out from this rotten potato. We are not the only one who wants this lace. This text wrap is very smooth for this version. So let me just, yeah, now it's looking good. I mean bad. Little bit shadows to give it some depth. And of course, bad smell. These lines better work here because it didn't work with the previous one. I'm thinking these whole feast is too much for these worms, so let's add some flies. Perfect. Stroke for these text wrap to blend it with the other elements. And guess what? I melted some of the letter from this text. Why I'm doing this? Again, I don't know. And you have to digest it. Now I can say that it is done. So tell me again, would you fight from these worms and flies to eat this Lays? You guys now have a cup of coffee and a packet of Lays. I heard you. Some of you may not like Lays. For you guys, I have this. So by just looking at it, it feels like these are printed on a metal sheet. And that's exact what I'm gonna do to this. I have a rough idea. Let's see how far I can go. Basically, I'm gonna combine last two concepts with the new one. Let's start with this blue metal sheet. Let's cut this part. I'm gonna make it feels like someone strong like me has bended this sheet. Shadows on the edge to make it feels like bend, not just someone like me has flipped it. Maybe I should break this portion. And of course, it will cast some shadows beneath itself. Again, allow me to break this one as well. I mean, why not? It should have some thickness because I like thick. If it is a metal sheet, then this would have a rusty surface like this. Let's move here. Now the red ones. Guess what? Yes, I'm gonna break it too. Other than breaking it, I'm going to melt it as well. Look at this. Okay, not now. Let me just add some highlights. Now look at this. Same process for the second one. Breaking it first, then melt it down. But this time this melted shade will hit the folded one. That means I have to make the shape accordingly. Shadows because it is touching the surface. Little rust here and here. And this thing on the floor, just like I did with the Dunkin' Donuts logo. Shadows and highlights to make it 3D. Then I added this green grass type of thing just to add some life in it. And these worms. I know what you all are thinking. How the heck these worms can penetrate this metal sheet? Well, in the artistic world, yes, they can. These red sheets need some thickness as well. Now it is complete. You know what? Let me see how it will look on a pizza's box. Okay, now it's your turn to tell me what would you do if a pizza delivery guy gives you a pizza in this box? Would you still eat that? Okay, few people might not. For them, I have something else. This thing. This is the second time I'm doing some experiment with this logo. Few months back, I tried my first try. Let's see how much I have improved from that day. Again, I have a rough idea which goes like, first I'll do is top of his head. From that, all the brain tissues are melting. Yes, I'm melting this thing again, but not like the previous ones. And those melted tissues are coming out from everywhere, even from his mouth. We'll see how much percentage from this idea we can achieve. Let's move forward step by step. First, the upper part of the head. To create a mind-like illustration, I need a reference. Yeah, that will work. Let's trace them to create our own mind like that. And the color. I need to make sure that these lines are sharp and pointy to give it a better look. Shadows and highlights to give it some dimension. For the shadows, I have just picked the darker shade of the reference color, and for the highlights, a brighter color. Now time has come to melt this brain so that we can see the insides of what is happening in the mind of Pringles man. Now the question is, why we wanna know? I don't have the answer for that. You can comment on it if you have any idea. Or maybe he knows something that is required to conquer this world. What? Looks like he's wearing some kind of a wig. Wrinkles for his eyes. Without the mustache, it doesn't look like a Pringles logo. Let me just do something. Looking... Nah, not working. What if I just make it small? That's how we'll get some more room to create a mouth. His mouth, as I said, as I have mentioned, brain tissues are coming from everywhere. Let's see if I can replicate it here. Believe me, most of the time I wasn't able to decide what to do with this. I kept making changes and tortured myself. Then I decided not to go further and convinced myself to stop here. Then I stopped recording. After that, I made little changes, yes, again, until it started looking like this. I'm not happy with it, but still it is looking cute. Now it's your turn to tell me which one you prefer out of these four if they start using these version of their original logo on their billboard. If you wanted to see more videos like this, you can check out this video. I'm out.